4, 3, 2, 1.
That's the show tonight. We're done.
We're done.
See
Thank
you
you for
later.
joining us.
Best one ever.
We pretty much rocked it.
Killed it. Killed it.
You know, that was the future of cycling wrapped up in an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah, you don't even need to listen. I mean, it's good for you to listen to what we have to say. It's good for your soul.
Yeah.
But that was about as good as it gets right there.
It's about as good as cherry blossom soda and whiskey.
Cherry peach. Cherry peach.
Cherry peach,
Cherry
Palisade?
Peach, sparkling water. I don't believe it's Palisade.
We're not. What's
Maybe
the origin
real cherry juice. You got me.
of the peaches?
Bonsai. Perfectly sweet. All right, this is not what we're here to talk about.
Bonsai? Are they tiny little peaches?
Tiny little. They grow tiny little
Little
cherry
tiny
trees
little-
and tiny little peach trees, and they trim them off, squish them in like thimbles, and then.
Ta-da!
Anyway, so it's like, I don't know. These are like $800 a can, I think. But
Yeah, but you
It's
can
okay.
afford it. You know, you run a bike shop.
says my mic sucks again. Did I never turn it back on?
Oh, Jason did not turn his mic on.
Guys, I'm sorry. I've done this twice now.
Oh, you gotta turn the mic on, dude. He went and peed, and I could hear it.
I didn't pee. I was fixing my toilet because my kid plugged it up.
Oh, now you should be able to hear us.
Yeah, things should be
fantastically.
fine now. Welcome to the show. My voice probably sounds better than it did 90 seconds ago.
Probably
Which is a
clear.
bummer because the best content that I gave
Yeah.
was before I turned my mic on.
Yeah.
It's all downhill from here.
Bonsai soda is
Bonsai
really
soda.
what's hot in Silicon Valley right now.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they're doing blood transfusions with like 18-year-olds and bonsai soda.
Drinking bonsai soda.
Yeah. So
Freshly
invest.
squeezed fruits from tiny trees. They're not baby trees. They're tiny trees. They're
Tiny
fully
little.
grown. They're
Yeah,
mature.
they're mature trees. They're just small.
Yeah, they're just small.
Tiny little fruits.
Small trees are wonderful. You know what else is wonderful, Nick?
Well, it's wonderful.
The future is wonderful.
The future. You know, we're at that time of year. It's called September,
It is called September.
when the
It's,
bike industry
pre-book season.
and the bike industry tries to get bike shops to
Commit to way more than they reasonably should. I didn't say that. But
but
so it
What do
is
we
the
got?
time of it's the time of year when the I don't know what you call it. I probably should know this after all these years. The model years flip over.
yes.
Which why bicycles have model years
I think it's called capitalism.
is stupid, but bicycles some companies are getting away from it more and more. But
Yeah.
it used to be really bad. Every company had new models every single year, and every single year, August into September, your sales rep would come by your bike shop. And you know what they would do? They would open up a new catalog.
We're like, ooh, look
And
at
you
this.
and you being the privileged bike shop people would get to look through the catalog and see what color is the new 7300. Ooh, it's blue and silver this year, whereas last year it was a light red and silver.
And they've upgraded the rear derailleur.
Ooh, from Acera to Alivio.
Yeah. You may have never heard of these derailleurs because no one really cares.
They exist and they are on the most bikes in the world.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cough. Trying not to.
All right.
Uh,
But there was a big announcement today of the one brand who has
never done model years.
never done model
That's
years and is known for its utilitarian use. And they have dropped I would say a revolutionary
Hands down,
pants down.
pants on, off,
Pants down.
in the dryer, no question. The most bike of its own kind out there.
You ready for this?
Welcome, my friends, to Moonlander
The
by
newest.
Sturley. Did we get it changed?
Yeah, it's most premium.
Most premium.
Look at this big old fat bike. Now, you're probably looking at this right away and going like,
I'm
okay, it's a
wondering
fat
what-
bike.
Yeah, what kind of
It's a fat bike.
bikes does this Surly company make?
They steal. Steel is real, my friend.
Exclusively?
Most premium steel.
Okay.
But look at the crank set.
Looks like it's running a single speed.
Yes, it's a single speed, but it's not.
What? No.
Can we scroll down?
What are we? What? How is it not
What
a single
is
speed?
this?
I don't see any.
Right there, right there.
I don't see any gears. What is this?
It's an internal
What is this thing? Is
It's
this a Hammerschmidt?
pinion.
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 All right.
Pinion.
Nick, what's a pinion?
It is internal gears. It is an internal transmission. I would actually prefer to call this a transmission over calling a derailleur a transmission.
I would
'Cause
probably
this
go
is-
more along the lines of this being transmission.
Transmission.
What do they call it? Do they call it a gearbox?
If they're British, they'll call it a gearbox.
Do British people call transmissions in cars gearboxes?
Yes.
What's the difference between a gearbox in an automatic and a manual?
One
If you're
sh-
British.
One, you do the shifting, and the other one does the shifting, I guess.
Okay. Welcome to our show tonight, where it's what's Jason learn about cars tonight? Nothing.
Gearbox.
I accept. All right, pinion. Sorry, I'm learning about pinion gearboxes because the new Surly Moonlander comes equipped. It comes equipped with a pinion transmission gearbox, so it's got a bunch of gears housed inside this box, right?
Yeah. How many gears does that pinion
I don't know.
have?
You should talk while I try to figure it out.
12? Is it 12 gears inside that?
Well, that's a motor gearbox unit. So this is literally an automatic transmission that they make.
Oh, wow.
Motorized gearbox unit. So that's
Yeah.
That's exists, I think. But that's not what's on the
No, it's just their
gear. They call it a gearbox.
gearbox. Yeah, they're
P-line,
British.
C-line, smart shift, gear. What's the difference?
Right there. There.
Looks
Oh.
like C-line is what's on the.
We're learning right now as we go.
Yeah, you know why?
C-line. Oh, and it's
Yeah.
popular with belt drive. If you
Seems to be.
are into that type of thing.
C-line gearboxes are available with 12, 9, or 6 gears.
Ooh, that's actually
So-
pretty good.
Yeah,
Pretty
that's 3 different numbers of gears.
Yeah, more
12,
or
9,
less.
and 6. Why is it 3 spaced in 3s?
I'm gonna say that they might be using different combos to get different gear
All right,
ratios.
specifications, lists.
So let's talk about the other thing. So it's got a gearbox.
It's got a gearbox.
So when you go to replace your chain, it's going to be cheap. That's a single speed chain. So
Yeah, but you're going to need to buy 2 of them.
And why are we going to need to buy 2 of them?
Because this thing has got that long ass. I don't know, what do we call this?
Is it long,
It's
or
not
is
a
that-
long tail. It's not a big butt. It does have a big butt, but it's got a big front.
But wait, is it
As
long
well.
or is the back wheel just smaller?
It is all of the things. So you're gonna need a lot of single speed chain. This is, I don't know what to call what the long back end is on this bike, other than just long
Well, what size?
chain stays.
What size is that wheel?
Oh, that is an interesting thing you bring up.
Yeah.
What size is the wheel?
The
wheel is
Because in a world of bigger is better, 26 to 27.5 to 29er.
29 to 36er.
36ers.
To 650D.
Yeah, let's do it.
What bigger is always better, but what if the rim is not bigger? Can you go smaller with the rim? Let's say, for kicks and giggles, Surly decided we're gonna make this rim 24 inches. What in the world would that be?
It would be 24 inches.
But what kind of bikes normally have 24-inch wheels?
I have no idea.
Kids bikes and stair
Jumpers.
jumpers.
Kids bikes and dirt jumper and BMX cruisers.
BMX
To be
cruisers.
specific.
Yes.
BMX cruisers. If there's any BMXers out there.
Yeah.
Yes, this bike has a 24-inch rim on it, which is a very interesting choice.
Well, but there's a reason why.
But yes, a very good reason.
Because if you run a 6-inch wide tire, suddenly
Wait a
you
second. What size tire?
have 6.2 inches wide, which you might wonder how you get 0.2 inches. I don't know. I don't know how decimal
Can you
inches
scroll
work.
down to some of those other shots? You can
Yeah.
check this out on
Check
the
this out.
Surly, but let's look at
Okay.
these shots of these just Moonlander wheels.
So apparently Surly went to NASA
yeah.
and they said, we have a question. Because we have made this bicycle for a few years that we call the Moonlander. And NASA's like, well, that's a little weird. We've never taken bikes to the moon. I wonder how that would work. So NASA then was like, we need to put bikes on the moon and figure out how that works. That's neither here nor there. But Surly was like, we feel like the tire size that we put on our bike that we call the Moonlander needs to be somewhat the same as what would normally be on a Moonlander. So they said to NASA, what size tires is used? And NASA's like, yo, check this out. 24-inch kids bikes.
24-inch kids bikes.
And then you put like 4 of them together. We welded 4 of them together.
Yep.
And so they were this wide.
Side by side by side.
Yeah. And then we had some custom-made tires to go around the whole thing, and that's what went on the Moonlander. 24 by 6.2 tires. Thank you, NASA. So you're getting to ride literal space-age equipment.
So 24-inch rims with 6-inch wide
6-inch wide
tires.
tires. Correct.
Is would you spell tires with a Y on this?
In this case, no. Because you know why?
Why?
I will tell you why.
Why?
Is it the English that spell it with a Y?
I think so.
They've never been to the moon.
No.
So they don't get these are definitely tires with a TI. Because England has not been to the moon.
But this thing is.
They did own most of the planet Earth at one point, but not the moon.
So
What do you-
tiny rims, humongous tires. So the Moonlander was the first fat bike to have that bigger size tire.
Now we were chatting about this before, and we wonder if there's anybody in our who's watching who can help us clarify. My understanding was the Pugsley, which was one of the probably the first fat bike that Surly made,
Yeah.
ran 4-inch tires.
Yeah.
And then when the Moonlander came out, it was the first one that ran the 5-inch tires and 5.5-inch. And that was kind of it. I don't know if there have even been 5.5-inch. 5 inches kind of became most of what people wanted for fat bikes in the last handful of years. By the way, people still ride fat bikes.
What? They're not
This is
just
true.
trendy?
This is true. Some people still ride them.
I feel like it's easy for rednecks to get into fat bikes. Because they're like, man, there's some big tires.
Yeah, we need
Those
them tires. to
tractor
get through the
tires go
swamp.
mudding.
Go-
Go mudding, dude. 44s go mudding. Brr, 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 you know? But it's on a bicycle, so I can take it to the bar.
Also, after
Yep.
mudding,
Yeah, after mudding.
and then go home.
go home.
And I can take a shortcut through the swamp.
Go mudding. So that's the Moonlander. Let's scroll through the page real
So
quick.
we got
and-
Moonlander, giant tires. We don't know if they're running tubes
6
or if they're
inches, I think-
tubeless. 6 inches is huge. I don't know what the effective diameter is with these now. 24 by 6.2. Is it 29 by 2? Are we in that range?
It might be.
Yeah, I think it's kind of.
So look at just that tire picture right there. Can we click on that?
We can.
So this
we
is-
have the technology.
That
Look at
that just looks like a moto, just burly tire. You could do some mudding. Let's scroll through that.
I mean, I can't wait for the really cheap electric bike companies to get a hold of these and start using them. So, oh look, you can see a lot of tire
Warping?
flex going on here. This is a perfect example of a Surly Moonlander getting rowdy.
yeah.
This is what you will sense when riding this bike to its most extreme. You will feel the rear tire go.
Now,
and that's how it'll go.
what do you think the pressure on these tires is going to be? Because when I rode the first Moonlander in the snow down a snow mountain,
Down a snow mountain. Which
with leopards, and there was a Russian sniper, but that's a whole nother story. But I would think I was running 4 psi.
right?
So
Are we going lower here?
what are we going lower? Volume seems to be bigger.
Well, you're probably still running in that range, I would guess. My question is it intended to be run tubeless or keep the tubes in? I don't know.
People are going to want tubeless.
And if it's tubeless, like 3-4 psi to hold tubeless on seems like it's getting a little
well, the
like
problem
you're asking a lot of nature
We-
in that equation.
I did Jones Pass on the Moonlander in
Okay.
the middle of winter. The problem was
It says tubeless ready on the tires.
yeah, the at those low pressures, the bead was coming off. They were set up tubed
Right.
because there wasn't. I don't know if you could set them tubeless back then, but they were tubed. We did this snow ride over this pass, and literally the bead of the tire was sinking into the rim because it wasn't enough pressure to push it on. Because we were running 3 or 4 psi.
We should probably explain to some of our newer listeners that neither one of us are fat bike riders.
We're not fat
generally,
bikers. No.
and so we're going to be a little bit out of our element here when wondering about some of this stuff. We're just speculating.
Yeah.
Seems like they're going to need some sort of mechanical technology to keep that tire attached to that rim.
Like a tube?
A tube or some sort of rim construction that holds that tire up against the wall. I don't know. I'd have to see one. Should we order one up?
Yeah. Let's order one up.
Uh,
Surly Bikes.
We'll go Surly Bikes. We'll see if they're in stock right now.
So that's the new Moonlander. We got
Not in
24-inch
stock yet.
wheels. Also, another
Couple
feature.
weeks to go.
Another feature of the bike is that you can run the front tire on the back. You can run 2 rear tires or 2 rear wheels.
Basically to run the spacing, they just
Yeah.
went the easy route and made the front fork spacing the same as the rear. There's no benefit to swapping them.
Well, if you had a mechanical on like a big trip,
Yeah.
like a Freeha
Whoever,
body.
whoever had that happen.
Dude, if you're going through the middle of nowhere and you got 2 rear wheels and you can just swap them,
That's fine. That's true.
that's fine.
I need to also admit that so this bike seems to be kind of geared toward the bike packing crowd. Can I say that? Can I say
think
bike
you
packing
can
crowd?
say-
That's not like
Yeah.
offensive, is it? Like those people,
Yeah,
the bike
those
packing people.
people. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. Those people that go out in the woods with their bikes,
For like
camp
days.
and disappear and like connect with nature and themselves.
They actually ride across a country. Sometimes.
Sounds impossible.
Yeah, I mean without
And
gasoline
they carry like a camper?
or a battery. I don't know if that's
Yeah, but-
possible.
I don't know. So that's what this bike is kind of built towards. Who do you think the Surly Moonlander is for?
The customer that this is for is somebody who is very eccentric and owns a Sprinter van and wants to go on journeys, but also wants to be noticed.
I don't think the Moonlander's a Sprinter van driver.
100%. Big wheels on the Sprinter van, big wheels on your bike,
No,
dude.
I think the Moonlander owner is driving a
BMW?
a Toyota. What's like the flat front Toyota vans?
Oh, I don't know.
From like the 90s. I don't know.
A Sienna?
No, prior to that.
The starts with a P.
That's not a Previa. Previa is
Previa.
the round.
The jelly
one
bean?
that looks like a jelly bean. Yeah. Dude, I saw an off-road Previa lately. That was amazing. It was jacked up. Had the big tires. This is what I'm saying.
Do you know what a camel cricket is? Because the Privia has the body. The camel cricket has the body of a Privia.
Well, I don't. Yeah, I don't think the Moonlander's a Sprinter van owner. I think they're driving one of
No,
those, or like a
me clarify.
Mitsubishi Delica with the right-hand drive. See, I know cars. I know a couple of weird specific cars.
let me
and so I'm
specify.
going to name the weird specific cars to go with the weird specific bike that I see.
You
Go.
spent $250,000 on your Sprinter van
Always.
to live in the woods.
Yeah.
You already have a Santa Cruz. And
True.
you're like, I want something kind of weird.
You gotta-
Moonlander.
It's not fitting on anybody's bike racks, that's for sure. So it has to go inside or in the back, in the bed of the truck. It's going to go in the bed of your Cybertruck.
So, oh, God, no. Do you think a Moonlander could ride over a Cybertruck?
I think a Moonlander could ride over a Cybertruck. I know for sure a Moonlander could not fit inside of a Cybertruck.
Now, a Cybertruck might actually fail before it rides over the Moonlander.
Yeah, it'd run out of battery.
Yeah. Or, Ethernet cable or something. Network cable goes bad inside of it. It gets into the middle of an update.
Right.
Powers down. But, I think it's interesting that they're going to the pinion.
Okay,
Let's cut to that.
Let me ask you the question then. What is this bike for? A person buys this bike, and what do they do with it?
Balloon animals.
Yes. Correct. Moving on. I need answers. Okay, so bike packing seems to be the thing. Like, that's their marketing, right?
Bike packing, but like those are
is
huge.
the fat tire bike purpose built for rolling over previously unridden terrain. So they want you riding over the uncrustable crust in Moab, is what they
Here's-
want you doing, which is not okay.
Here's the thing with the
what is that
ultra
crust called?
the ultra fat tires though is you don't have any rebound or compression adjustment. Like, okay, tires are the original suspension,
Correct.
and it's great to have big tires.
Spokes are the original suspension.
Yeah, but what if you have mag wheels?
I'm just saying, prior to pneumatic tires, we had spokes.
And we liked it.
So
Uh,
point of fact.
Point of fact.
Actually,
you're actually riding on 32 spokes that suspend you, and whatever.
they're only being suspended by 2 at a time.
2 at a time. Okay. But
Well,
suspension and rebound and compression adjustment are actually nice things.
yeah, they don't exist, but that. Again, the question remaining: what's this bike for? I don't think what this bike is for. That compression and rebound adjustments are necessary. You're not going that fast. We already saw how we saw how rowdy it can get, right? We saw the tire get a little
Sand.
scooshy over here.
Let's.
All right, that's happening. That's as good as it
You
gets.
see that squish right there?
If you're doing anything more than that with this bike, you are pushing it beyond its limitations, and that's on you.
Squish and gush, dude.
Okay, so it's for the bike packing. Like I don't understand the previously unridden terrain. Like you're just supposed to like fucking
Sounds free
go
ride to me,
wherever.
dude.
It's a free ride bike.
It's
That's
free ride.
100% what it is. All right.
Yeah, but the thing with free
Thoroughly.
riding on
Redefining free ride since 2024.
it's OG free riding where you just go down a mountain where there's no trail. You just hope for the best. I think that's what we're going for here.
Well, yeah. So
But interesting.
I think they're appealing.
Internal shifting.
So I think they're appealing, yes, to the off the grid bike packing. Get out, get lost, make the bike functional so that you can. So that in a sense, it's less about the bike for when you're using it. You're going somewhere. You're doing something else. Bike packing. Going like you're riding to Burning Man.
well, I will say
on the Moonlander.
I would prefer to have an internal geared hub or internal transmission at Burning Man because the dirt on the playa is just it's harsh.
I would just like to say, few things make me happier that I'm not running a retail storefront anymore than Burning Man season.
Yes, Burning Man season is people going, it just needs to work,
And
but
you
I
don't
don't
need
care.
to know how naked I've always been on this bike.
I've been naked on this bike the whole time.
The whole time. It just needs to work. You can try to power wash whatever that white crust is off of it all you want. It's not
It's
going
a
to
playa,
matter.
dude. It's alkaline trio or
Yeah, it's
something.
playa mixed with human sweat. It's like absolute concrete. Like, we could be making buildings out of this stuff if we just felt a little less moral about like human slavery. Like, we're gonna,
And that's the
so
Moonlander, folks.
There we go.
Yeah, big
That's what we
tires, internal transmission, steel frame,
Big
steel
ass
fork,
tires, shitty brakes.
terrible brakes.
$4,000 and you get Tektro 2-piston brakes. I think that's a fail. I know, like, that's awful. If you're a Surly dealer and you're selling one of these, no question, number one thing to do is sell them new brakes. And then sell them a really squishy
But you
saddle.
said this wasn't going for fast, Jason. Is
That
it
still
going
has
for
to
fast or
work.
not going for fast, eh?
But it isn't always about, like, brakes aren't always about speed. They're about how much you're carrying, weight-wise, over what sort of grade you're going on.
Inertia,
Yeah. I don't know. Some sort of mass
mass, Yeah.
coefficient, radical equation.
Well, that's the Moonlander, folks.
We tried to get past it a couple times. We keep coming. It's got a dropper post.
it's got a dropper
really
post.
long cables on it.
It's got a dropper post. It's got internal shifting. It's got 24-inch wheels, which I never thought a bike would premiere ever again with 24-inch wheels.
Right? As a new model, 24
I think
inch
it has
out the gate.
The biggest tires ever made at 6 inches.
Yes.
6.2
Yep,
inches.
agreed. Biggest ever
Yep.
made. 6.2.
And then the rest is just classic Surly.
Right.
They did mildly change the font on the Surly. It has been upgraded.
It's got a sort of futurism to it.
It's got
which,
more of a
I
Star Trek Deep
detest.
Space Nine vibe.
A little bit. You're not wrong. Yeah.
I'll have to figure out what font that
a
is
little bit
later.
of a Moonraker font actually on the Moonlander. Actually, we should check into that.
A Moonraker?
As a
Mondraker?
no, that was a James Bond movie. Moonraker, and that one looks similar to that.
Interesting.
Anyway, let's kill Surly. Let's be done with that because nobody. We were going to talk about so bike. Like, I did a quick search, Surly Moonlander, and like one of the first things came up was a review by bikepacking.com, which I just proves that that's the clientele that they're shooting for with this bike.
Can you get a
Bike.
squirrel on that? Oh, look at that. Oh,
Yeah.
healthy calf on that.
Sandals,
Sandals.
right? Flats.
Yeah.
Riding like for some reason adjacent, like in the water. He might be fly fishing, like with a tenkara pole or something at the
Yeah.
same time as he's riding. I hear what these are good for, so that works. There's a Death Star on it apparently.
It's a moon, dude.
fuck is that?
Moonlander.
It's like a moon. It's like a moon made out of
Stitched. It's a patchwork.
old stitchings from the
Patchwork
from the
moon.
1920s. Some Depression era child dreamed about a bicycle that could be ridden on the moon and made this.
I was actually in a band called Patchwork Moon.
Were you now?
Yeah, dude. We played.
What did you
There were
play?
6 of us, and we were all bassists. But you know, ooh, there's a good shot.
See,
Look at that.
Here's a good shot. If you
Moonlander by a
are
lake.
wondering what the Moonlander is good for, it's good for carrying trash bags.
Look, one
that are
trash bag
partially
on a rack.
One little trash bag on straps on a, Surly bike rack, and off you go.
Off
you
you
could
go.
put a jacket in there,
Yep.
maybe a jacket and like a pair of socks in case you wanted to wear socks with your sandies once the sun sets. All right, we're done.
I thought we were moving on. Oh, the Moonlander at night. It just keeps getting
The
better and better.
Radavist put some fucking lights on it, like we're supposed to care. Oh, more riding in the sand. Oh, look, this photo's real squishy gushy.
Ooh,
Check
look at
this
that.
out. Look at that. See, you can ride over. Shirley found like one like sandy area to
They
bring.
went out to the sand dunes.
Yeah, they brought people out and they go, oh, we'd ride on some like really good. You could ride a road bike on that sand.
So I'm not sure if we like this bike or completely hate it. I think we need to ride it.
I don't want to ride it.
You don't want to ride it?
Well, not really.
I want to ride it. I want to, like,
You
what does
can.
it do?
It
How does it shift?
It
What's the vibe
it
you're
goes
putting out?
real slow. Everywhere.
Potentially, yep.
You're gonna go and like barely move, and you could boil your water and make your pour over coffee while pedaling this thing. You just put a little platform out there on the handlebar, so because it's gonna stabilize. It'll be just fine.
Yeah,
and
just
then
running 4
yeah.
psi.
your handlebar mustache will grow while you're pedaling away, and your coffee's brewing all at the same
Oh
time.
man.
Magnificent.
Will,
You're-
any other bikes in 2024? What else we got?
Santa Cruz. Let's swing wide here. Santa Cruz has a new Bronson.
Look at that, a Branson.
Yeah. What's new about it? I don't know. It's got a peephole.
It's got a peephole for.
It's got this little hole in here so that you can see.
Yep, see that little hole?
Doink, 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 so you can see your sag. Or
Well, is that innovative? Is that what the people want?
it's an innovation on the same bike. I don't know what other changes they made to it. It's still an MX wheel. It comes with Schmelvins now. They've gone back to the pink and yellow paint scheme, which I'm a fan of. Go for it, always. Transmission. Oh, I guess the nice ones, like the carbon CC version of this, are electronic shifting only. So,
Ooh. We can only
which
shift
at this point
electronic.
means only SRAM. So no Shimano,
Huh.
because they don't have.
They don't have electronic shifting?
I think these might still have some, but I don't think they have current. They haven't been pushing their electronic stuff at all. So, anyway,
It's because the people want cables, dude.
MX wheel. Let's see. How about let's see. Moved the VPP pivot a couple millimeters. MX wheels. The Bronxon's looks have changed radically. They said.
Oh.
I disagree. Not radically. This isn't
Not-
radical, dude.
Is it a radical on sabbatical?
It wasn't to satisfy the ego of a designer or stand out, but rather moving the location of the lower link and the shock down low.
You're
and
low.
Forward was paramount in lowering the anti-squat for a wild bike like the Bronson.
Anti-squat?
So some suspension changes that you have to keep reading up on to understand every week, all the time.
But it's better, right?
But you're all, yeah.
It's better.
Lowering the anti-squat is uppering the stoke, man.
With less.
It's a correlative
Is there antimatter containment?
in the dilithium matrix. Yes, yes, there is.
All right. So this
Yeah.
is some serious technology here.
Absolutely.
Oh, hold on. Pictures of people shredding.
Yeah, there's some young whippersnappers.
They're eating a salad? Wow.
Yeah, because he's fit, but this one's drinking a tall boy Coca-Cola, which is
Tall boy
interesting.
Coca-Cola. Okay.
I've never seen one before.
Is it a Mexican Coke or a regular Coke?
It's in a can,
Okay, so that's just a regular Coke. I
as
didn't.
all tall boys are.
I didn't see that coming.
I didn't see it
I
either.
didn't see it coming. What are the color options? What are our color schemes? It looks like we got.
We got the pink and yellow, which is a win, and then you got translucent / root beer, which
Ooh.
looks boring.
root beer.
So
Classic.
most men who work in offices will buy it.
It's Browntown. Welcome to Browntown.
I can't have it all black; it might as well be brown. Or if it's like aircraft gray to match my Tacoma, that's also fine.
I was gonna say, why don't Santa Cruz just copy Tacoma color schemes? Why
Didn't
not?
they?
There's that clay.
They had a gray mega tower,
Yeah.
or a high tower. No, they had a gray high tower. It was a number of years ago. It was very much Tacoma Gray. Probably pre-Tacoma Gray though.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about the Tacoma Gray other than like
There's-
my brother-in-law has one, and his is like 3 or 4 years old. So that's my time frame.
Yeah, there's black. There's the
Isn't there-
tan
there's
color.
like a
then
sandy
there's
color,
the,
yeah, yeah.
There's the clay, like the gray clay.
Gray.
They just do that. Just make them Tacoma colors or Raptor colors. We know who's buying this bike.
Yeah.
But no one's doing a stainless steel model.
It's
Not
true.
one company is doing a stainless steel bike that matches.
Matches the Cybertruck.
Yep.
It's true.
Where's my stainless steel bike?
You got to get a custom wrap for that dog.
I think. Do you think we could go back to Cannondale days where we got the polished aluminum? Do you think polished aluminum would do that for me?
Polished aluminum would get you up in the morning.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right. What's next on our
All
list?
right,
So
so-
Bronson, kind of like
It's kind of new.
that's kind
If
of.
you aren't really paying attention, you're not gonna know. So
Hey.
if you want one, go buy one. They're cool. You'll have fun, probably.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I totally just spaced out. I may have had a minor stroke right there.
You asked if I think.
Um,
Sometimes.
Oh, do you think? Oh, what's the one guy's name that watches our show all the time? He has like 4 Santa Cruzes, maybe 5. I've ridden with him like
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden. Yep. Do you think he's gonna ride a Santa Cruz?
I don't think JP. Oh wait, what we got? Jason Max. Fuck yeah, Jason Stella's on board now.
Yeah, Jason Stell, welcome
Fuck yeah,
to the
welcome,
party.
buddy. You should have been here before. What else are you doing with yourself, buddy?
Apparently, he made 2 comments that have been restricted by YouTube.
Says, "Are you guys drunk?" We are not.
We're not, dude.
We're just.
I'm ready for some goddamn Taco Bell.
Just high on
I'm
living
ready
life.
for a burger. You got burgers here?
No burgers.
No burgers?
Do you want to know what's new with Trek bicycles? Nobody ever asks.
Tell us, Jason, what's new?
Like, does anybody give a shit about Trek bikes anymore?
Please leave a comment.
Like, they're fine. They're mediocre. They sell consumer direct now. They're kind of screwed over a bunch of their dealers. We knew it was coming. We have an whole episode on that. Go back and watch it. It's great. It's one of our best ever.
They're the F-150 of bicycles.
Correct. Yeah, they're just the base, most of them. Anyway, if you're curious about Trek, the American bicycle company that makes everything in Asia, well, you can go to their website and you can go to What's New. What's new, pussycat? Well, I'll tell you what's new.
What's new?
Nothing. On their
Nothing
page,
new.
they have all this stuff that's new. New Marlin 4 Gen 2. It's the same. It's their $500 and some hardtail. It's like one of their best-selling bikes. It's not new. It's the same thing.
You got to move
Shut up.
the paint color
Oh, shit.
2 shades to the left. 2 shades to the left, and then you got a new model.
They have
That's-
a red, a coral color, a hex, what they call hex blue, a blue color, and then black.
Great
Bunch of colors.
entry-level mountain bike.
We don't care. It's not new. They say it's new. This
Gen
is the
2.
same old story where they changed like 2 things and said it's new. This e-bike, not new. Marlin Plus 8. Marlin Plus, I'm the only one who thinks this. Bothers me. Okay.
Where are we going with this?
Where are we going? All right. They have a bike called the Marlin, which is like a fish.
Yeah.
It's an ocean creature. So then they made another bike that's like the same thing, but like an electric one, right?
Yep.
So it should be called the Eel.
The
Because
electric eel.
The electric Eel and the Marlin. No, it's the Marlin Plus, which has an electric motor.
Which is totally weird because Trek doesn't name anything else with a nautical theme.
No, nothing else.
It's got
Well,
one bike.
it's a carryover from Gary Fisher.
Yeah.
Because the Gary Fisher Marlin existed way back in the 90s.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're holding on, but nobody
No one cares.
nobody at all today is buying a Trek Marlin because they're like, I liked Gary Fisher in the 90s.
No. Speaking of which, Jason sent me a Craigslist ad with somebody here locally in Denver selling a Gary Fisher leather jacket.
It's a leather bomber
So
jacket.
leather bomber
I think
jacket.
it went like $80
with-
for it or
yeah.
something. It was more than I could justify
You would
to
look
buy for
pretty
fun.
cool.
Of course I would, but I look
Gary
cool.
Fisher.
I feel it would have been great. Anyway, what's else is new with Trek? Their e-bikes are still boring. They're fine. They're good bikes. Who cares? Go buy one.
Jason
and
Sella says
right
that
down the path. They have a bike called the Verve, which is winning the step-through wars on the lowest step-through bike available. Great. More electric. This.
time trial walk.
We're done with the new bikes. That's it.
Yeah.
Nothing's new. Nothing's that exciting. They do have a new bike.
This is well. I'm actually surprised that anybody's coming out with anything new.
Right,
this
because
year.
most of them are pretty much just sitting around thinking, how do we get them to sell what we've already made
We have to
without
get rid of stuff.
Yeah, we have to get rid of. We either
And this
need
is the trap.
every bike company is either thinking we need to sell our product or sell our company. Sell our product or sell our company.
Well,
we
this
don't
is
know
the
which one
trap
to do.
that the cycling industry has created with going into this year model. We have to put something out new every year, just change the paint, put one more gear on it, do something different that's just mildly different.
Right.
Yeah, back in the day, Trek would take the paint job from the previous like top end Trek bike
Right.
that Lance rode, and they would put it on the cheapest bike.
Yeah, the 5500 paint job
Yeah.
would get put on the 1500.
Yeah.
Yes,
and,
you're right.
And so there's just like playing this game, and it's just like, oh my god, just to move shit. And then when the industry, when things slow down, we're right now in, I would say, a depression of the cycling industry.
We're in a cycling industry depression.
A deep
Yes.
cycling depression, cycling industry depression, like that just totally crushes companies, because you're trying to just turn over, like, move out all the last year's stuff,
Yeah.
sell people the new stuff. What year model is it? It doesn't
But
matter.
it's sell the dealers on new stuff, and then the consumers have dealt with this for so long. They kind of knew that this would happen, and so all the deal hunters would start coming out of the woodwork about this time of year. Oh, what's clearance? What's closed out?
What's clearance?
What's old models? Old. A bike we've had on the floor for 4 months is an old model, but now the new one's blue.
Yeah. Oh, that's not
So-
2013.
So
it's exactly the
so
same.
I have to sell this old one
Yeah.
for less money because.
Well, this is just made up.
Meanwhile, Trek has got the they're pressuring me to be like, oh well, the new ones are so great, and if you buy this many of them at this much amount right now, you can get this kind of discount, and you won't have to pay for them until June. How's that sound? And you're like, great. I don't know.
What's the
That's the time of year. So every bike shop owner right now is trying to figure out how many bikes they should buy next year.
Well, this is going to be the year where bike companies are going to get really hammered. If shops didn't do well, they're not buying a bunch of crap right now.
Because if the bike companies have been sitting on stuff for the past 2 years, then the bike shops are sitting on it for like another season after that.
Yeah.
Because they're still sitting on it afterwards.
And that
Because they're sitting on the stuff that they were forced, pressured to buy.
which might be on credit.
It always is.
Gotta have it on credit, dude. But Trek did come out with a hardtail after this
That's
whole
right.
rant.
You know what? World hunger solved. World peace achieved. Trek's got a new race hardtail. Everything is good.
A race hardtail.
Yeah, it's not just another Marlin.
Now, all you BMX
The
enthusiasts.
Marlin does have new colors.
For all you BMX enthusiasts, I know you're like, I need a 29-inch hardtail. Let's take a look. There is a new bike, and look, it's got a frame stander. You can stand
Right there.
on your top tube and perform all sorts of tricks.
Is this the first carbon frame stander we've ever seen?
This may be the first carbon frame stander. Lasers.
First one ever.
Look at that. Let's see. Can we see a full picture?
I don't know.
You know,
No,
the
it
funny thing
cycles.
is,
Open image. There we go.
the funny thing is it reminds me of the GT triple triangle.
It's so close. It's reminiscent. It's got notes of triple triangle, but it's not quite exact. So there's no breach of trademark.
Yeah, we don't want to get on that triple triangle train.
We are a bar short of a third triangle, so we're gonna stick with the double diamond.
Yeah.
Double diamond.
So if you're an old school BMXer trying to do some surfers on a cross country mountain bike that costs more than your car, your Corolla, Trek's got you covered.
Track's got you covered.
Ooh, a little cherry blossom.
A little bonsai cherry blossom. Put that inside you.
Put it all in there.
Put it inside you and be happy.
So yeah, Trek has a new carbon hardtail. It's carbon, probably pretty light.
They got rid of ISO speed
I don't know what that means.
and went with ISO bow.
In search of?
So this whole situation here with this cluster,
Yeah.
with your seat tube and your top tube going together, their previous version borrowed technology from their road bikes where there was like
Oh, the
a little
damper.
bearing in there that allowed the post to move at the seat tube and a little wiggle. You had a little wiggle in the seat tube like this. Now it went like this.
A little
This-
lateral torsional.
This goes away with that and allows just for the seat tube and the stays and all to kind of go like this. So before we were doing this, now we're kind of going like this.
Gotcha.
See, it all makes sense now, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm ready
Doesn't
for
it?
the future.
ISO bow is the next, not to be confused with bow tie. That's a different bike altogether.
Oh my god. Let's not get into that. What else we got new?
What is new? That Pro Caliber. Explorer. Charge to the top with a cross-country hardtail that's built for both speed and comfort.
Yeah. You had
So
me.
that's that. Bronson, the Mini Nomad. Bum. We tried to find out what was new from Specialized, and they were just like, "Look, we made another $12,000 gravel bike."
Let's
and,
look at that.
The world was like, "Yeah, that's fucking normal. Nobody gives it." And we made it like a really boring color. What is this color?
It's like a green.
It
Like
is
a
green.
Army green.
It's kind of diarrhea green, but not entire. But
What have
like,
you been eating? What type of diarrhea are you
there's
having?
many different kinds of diarrhea that can produce a green like this. This is not.
It's like a spinach, kale.
I've been around this planet a few times. I've seen a few color variations.
So yeah, we got another $12,000. Lots of new gravel bikes. But
Well,
guess
the
what?
new gravel bikes are all important because
That's what's
SRAM
selling.
Well, that is what's selling, but SRAM came out with a new 13-speed gravel bike group, and so it's nope. Nah. SRAM has a new 13-speed gravel bike group, and well, I think I don't know if I think they have a 13-speed regular SRAM Red road group too, but they have a gravel bike group as well. This is
Do you see like
this
the
is
theme?
tiresome just saying sometimes. Anyway, everybody's coming out with a new gravel bike because it's got to have the new fucking shit on it.
13.
And
Okay.
yes, I tried to put as much stank on that as I could because that's how I care about it.
So the thing is like, what is the board meeting where it's like, Well, we had 12 speed. What do we do next?
Well, we gotta sell new bikes.
Okay.
Well, but what can we sell the old bikes?
No, they're not selling.
Oh shit.
Well, what do we do, Jim?
Well, people only buy new things, so we need something new.
And revolutionary.
Have we thought about doing a new color? We did that last year, and that got us through last year, but that's not gonna work this year.
Nope, no sir.
What else? We need new bikes. New bikes. How do we make?
What if we do 14 speed?
I like where you're going with this. 14.
Ah, 2 more speeds.
Terry, do it. 14. We're moving on. We can still make our 9 o'clock golf.
Engineers come back. They go, we can't do 14.
14's not gonna work.
No, 14's not going to work.
Fuck.
Okay, what's next?
we
What
might
is
have been
that?
too
Somebody
ambitious.
give me an idea.
Well, 14 was too many. Is 14 too many for the bike, or is that just like
We just can't do it.
space and time sort of crumple when you do 14?
Yes.
That's more. I think that's
yeah.
what happens. Because we haven't done it yet, and I don't think it works. I don't think. 14
What if we do
years,
13?
Perfect.
Let's do it.
13. Problem solved.
13 gears on the back of the bicycle. We got a new model.
Everybody's
But
gonna-
do the shifters work with 12 speed?
No.
Does the crankset work with 12 speed?
We say no, but it actually
It kind of does.
because cranksets don't fucking matter.
Does the derailleur work with 12 speed?
No.
No, it cannot work.
It cannot.
Do the brakes work with 12 speed?
The brakes, oddly
No,
enough,
they cannot work.
don't work with 12 speed.
It's not cross compatible.
So there you have it.
Oh, look at that. $12,000.
$12,000.
You know what?
Gravel
Actually,
bike.
I believe you can buy the least expensive Mitsubishi. I think it's the Mitsubishi Mirage for $12,000.
Probably.
It's
So-
hatchback.
I've been seeing some rumblings on the internet lately.
Yeah, what's rumbling?
Guys, we're going to get super dumb here. Tire size and gravel bikes.
Yeah.
At what point, tire size wise, does a bike become a gravel bike?
I say it's under 2 inches.
But on the beginning end.
Oh. Ooh. 32 is the crossing point.
Bro, no.
28?
It's becoming pretty widely accepted that 45 millimeters is the starting point for gravel biking. Anything below that is probably just like an all-road bike or an any road bike or just a road bike. But if it's a gravel bike, you need to start at 45 and pretty much go up to about 2.1 to 2.3.
So they're just.
I don't know at what point we decide we go from the millimeters to the inches. That one doesn't make any sense to me. But
Yeah.
gravel might be busting that little bubble.
So
Buttons, yeah. So
we're just getting back to 90s cross country mountain biking.
on 700C.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roll it. Roll it. Yeah, that's it. We did it.
Leadville 100 was won this year on a drop bar mountain bike.
Yep.
So a mountain bike with drop bars running, 29 by 2 inch tires. And then, Steamboat the next week was run on a gravel bike with.
Lasers.
It was run on a gravel bike with lasers. A gravel bike, drop bars with 2 inch wide tires. So. All right, we're done talking about
Gravel. So yeah, there's a lot of new gravel bikes because that's the new cross country. Okay.
It's the new everything. It's the new cross country. It's the new road racing. It's
We got 13 speed.
we got 13 gears. We've got 15-pound versions of these with 2 inch wide tires. Guys wearing special skin suits with hydration packs built into the back of them.
Ooh.
This shit's insane. It's ridiculous. Nobody.
Wait a second. Is Specialized 50 years old? What's the 50? Specialized 50 up at the top corner, top left. Here.
Ooh,
What does that mean?
Might be 50 years old.
Specialized.
I don't know.
Specialized. I have this love-hate relationship with Specialized because on some hands, on one hand, some hands, this hand or
Which
this
one?
hand,
Sometimes both of them.
like they have done things that are revolutionary.
Yeah, they made Future Shock go in the rear.
Future in the rear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
revolutionary.
No one else has put
Nobody
a
has
Future
put a
Shock.
Future Shock in the rear.
They're the
before.
first company to make a dirt jumper, a complete stock dirt jumper that you could buy. No one was making dirt jumpers. They made the P3. They've done some interesting suspension stuff. Some of it I absolutely hate. Some
Sure.
of it has been okay. But yeah, I just feel like they're on this edge of like making stuff, this outrageous, expensive stuff, and then practical stuff that cyclists actually use and need. I feel like they're trying to be the Apple of the cycling world.
I think maybe they're trying to make it look like that they are, because they still make all their other like bargain shit. But
Yeah,
it's the
they
same old
were-
story. They just promote and push like the top end. Like,
Yeah.
oh look, our new stuff. Our new stuff is a $12,000 gravel bike, and people are supposed to be like, oh, I guess I can't get that. I guess I'll get the whatever else. I don't know what else they make.
Back in the day, they were the bargain brand, though.
Really, has Specialized ever been the bargain?
Like, they had some bargain brand stuff. Back in the day.
Vote now. Has Specialized ever been a bargain brand? I don't think so.
Back in the day, they had
What's the day? What's the day to you?
20 plus years?
2005?
Yeah, that's about then.
That's
They were
almost 20.
pushing
That's 19 years ago.
They were pushing 2004, 2005. They were starting to push S-Works. That's when S-Works split as a brand. Like S-Works was their high end, and to be an S-Works dealer, like I think it was 2005, you had to like buy so many S-Works bikes. But like before that, they had like they I would say they were more of a strategy like felt of like having a bike with like, I mean the classic like it's got an Ultegra derailleur, but then everything else is freaking Tiagra
Right.
like type stuff. And it's just like, dude, just put the whole group on it. Just make it make sense. Don't do this stuff. And it's definitely changed to more of a high-end, sleeker over 20 years of looking at the brand.
You think it has across the board, or is that just how their marketing has developed?
I think it's how the marketing's developed.
Yeah. Because they still have all their other stuff. But, I mean, yeah, like you go to what's new, and it's like, oh, look, the new thing is a $12,000 bike, but then, I don't know, do they still make, can you buy a $2,000? Is $2,000 like a budget bike for a gravel bike now?
I think that's $2,000 is a budget gravel bike.
Jeez. Yeah. Can you buy like a $1,500 or $1,200 bike from any company as a gravel bike and it not just be a complete disappointment? I really wonder. We should do an episode on what would you buy for X dollars.
It's such an interesting time right now because pricing has fluctuated so drastically, and supply and demand has fluctuated so drastically. Like right now in the car market, like another market side by side with the bike market that had some of the same issues. Like cars are starting to get cheap. Like right now, you can lease a Leaf for almost nothing, like a Nissan Leaf.
Right.
Teslas are coming down on, like Hertz just dumped a bunch of Teslas. So like Teslas came down in price, and I think the bike industry were getting some of those premium prices, but I think we're in a point where it's obviously slowed down in the bike
Right.
industry, and how many people are going to be running out to buy a $12,000 gravel bike?
Well,
So
in I guess the answer is enough for a Specialized who has a lot more data on bike purchasing than we have. Enough for them to be like, we have a new $12,000 gravel bike. So just taking a peek see at their Crux page, Specialized has a gravel bike, aluminum frame, mechanical SRAM shifting for $2,600. Cheapest bike they sell, $2,600.
So you're saying I could get into gravel biking for $2,600
From Specialized.
Also, like
They sell a $1,700 aluminum frame, a $3,000 aluminum frame, a $5,000 or a $3,000 carbon frame, a $5,000 carbon frame, a $5,000 carbon bike, a $12,000 carbon bike, a $4,000 carbon. Like it goes on.
Yeah.
Everything is thousands and thousands of dollars.
Well, and it's funny, like I grew up in an era where if you, especially in the Southeast, if you ride a bike, that's something that poor people do. Like that was definitely the vibe I got growing up. It wasn't like culturally, like the norm was you turn 16, you get a car. And I didn't have a car. I rode my bike to work, and I worked 6 miles away, and I rode my bike to work, and it worked great. I didn't need a car. But
it's always Walmart. It's true.
yeah,
They have their own brand now, so their own bike brand.
So I think it's interesting that bike brands are charging so much, but then I think the view of people, and hopefully it's changing, is that, you know, riding a bike, like, or a bike to work, or using a bike as transportation is something you do because you can't afford a car because you're poor.
Right.
And but then you go to something
true.
like
Right, it's one or the other.
Yeah.
You're either dirt poor or you're some fucking rich white elite guy. Like, and the truth of the matter is, it's actually everybody else. It's guys like you and me. I mean, we have a lot of elitists who watch our show.
Yeah.
We're not trying to offend you.
Please come buy more
You're
stuff.
welcome here.
But
Yeah.
But
The general perception is it's kind of one or the other. You're either too poor to own a car, or you're so rich that you buy a $12,000 like fourth bike.
So then, like, yeah, do you go to Walmart? Like Jeffrey says, was that? Did he make a comment? Was that Walmart?
He said always Walmart. Yeah.
Yeah, there's always Walmart. Like you go to Walmart and it's like total garbage. Like you should not. Those are called bicycle-shaped objects.
Right.
And then you go on the Specialized page and you're like, oh, $2,600.
Right. That's your range.
Yeah, you know, like.
I mean, yeah, there's other stuff out there, but all that perspective does is sort of reveal the fact that the range is huge, and whittling down what's available, or like what's a responsible, reasonable option for you that's good for what you're doing, is that what you need, is actually a ton of work.
Yeah.
On your part, and that's $13,000. Yeah.
Yeah, 13 grand, dude.
That's right. That's what I said.
Can I finance that?
You can finance whatever you want.
I mean,
Yeah.
back, like, you could get a good bike for $1,000, like a decent bike, not like the like crazy.
Bro, every time you say back in the day,
$1,000.
you gotta define what back in the day means, because you're getting old.
I'm getting old.
So back in the day is not like 5 years ago.
That was like when I worked at Self Jetty, that was like 8 years ago.
Yeah, 8 years.
8 years.
Yeah.
8 years ago, $1,000 will get you a decent bike.
There's adults right now. 8 years ago was like junior high school to them. So, like, perspective.
I think we sold we did a custom Surly build with a carbon whiskey fork. That was $1,400, but you got a carbon whiskey fork, you got 105.
Can't even come close to that for that now.
Yeah, like
Not even close. Yeah.
and one of those bikes came up on Craigslist because that was a bike that we did just at Salvagetti for $400. I almost bought it. It was my size.
Yeah. I understand that temptation.
But I went on a side journey there. So yeah, what's the balance
side
of the elitist cyclist and what the market. I mean,
it's out there, but it's work. Stuff exists, but like, you gotta go. You gotta do a
you
little
have the
hunting.
$4,000 Moonlander.
Well, yeah. Well, you could always buy a $4,000 Moonlander. If you're ever torn about one to buy, just buy a Moonlander, because it'll be terrible at everything. The bike that's good at nothing is just
Yeah.
right for you.
Well, the used market, Jeffrey brings up a good point. The used market right now is insane.
Oh, it's so good
I
for
mean,
buying.
yeah,
Yeah.
for buying. Don't try to sell anything right now. When you try to sell that elitist $12,000 bike, good luck. That's not gonna. I don't think that's gonna sell right now.
You got stuff for sale right now. What you got for sale?
I have a road bike. I have a road bike, city bike, and mountain bike. Just like a basic 29 mountain bike.
But you can't get rid of them.
Yeah, I put them all up on Facebook. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to wait a year and sell them next season. When the market comes back.
When it comes back.
When
I tried
the
to sell
market-
my gravel bike.
Yeah.
It was a Soma Wolverine.
Yeah.
So one of the original bikes that could fit 2-inch wide tires on it. Ooh. So in the discussion about gravel bikes starting at 45, this one could fit 55. No problem. Anyway, I had it with like a SRAM NX1 by Grupo, some SRAM guide brakes, some pretty nice wheels, some 240 hubs on some crest rims. General basic build. I had an 1800, like being hopeful, being dreamy. Nope. Putting that price up against what I know new stuff costs. Like, this is a good one-by built flat bar road bike. I know. With like really nice wheels and a decently shifting Grupo. Carbon fork, great. Couldn't get rid of it. Dropped it to 15 nothing, 13 nothing, 1,000 nothing. Could not get rid of this bike. Finally, somebody offers me $500 for the frame, which is great. That's a good deal for them, because those frames cost like $800 something new.
Yeah.
And lets me get rid of basically most of the bike. Now I have a pile of parts hanging around, but that's what the used market's like right now. I couldn't get rid of that thing, which is actually a super cool bike, but
Yeah.
that's the way it went.
Well, that's going to be the show this evening.
Nothing
Thanks
else new?
for,
That was it, right?
Yeah,
Who cares
that's
about Trekkie Mondas?
no
Who
one
cares about the Hope XCR? Who cares about 13 speed Crux?
13. Yep.
So many gears.
We've already talked enough crap about 13 speed.
Ooh.
What do you think is going to come out next year?
Ooh, boy.
Ooh, can we
We've already come up with
predict the
13.
future of next
We're
year?
gonna do that at the end of the year. Let's do that at the end of the year.
You don't think that people are ready for predictions on how many speeds bicycles will have in 2026?
We're not ready for 14. We are. Shimano's not going to 13 yet. SRAM hasn't gone to 13 on anything lower end yet. I think the next big thing we see is a new version of Shimano's Di2 mountain bike groups.
I think I'm going to go this week and ride a 7-speed bicycle. That's going to be my... That's going to be what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ride a 7, half of the gears of 14.
Do it. I have something to announce or
You're pregnant?
propose to you.
Okay. Lasers.
We're going to do a bicycle therapy group project.
Group? Like
Yeah.
a painting? Like group therapy painting?
It'll be group therapy.
Draw the
So-
mountains.
At Apex Park on the Enchanted Forest
Yeah.
Trail,
Yep.
between the two climbs, so you do the first climb, then you do the little wiggle in the meadow. We rode there a few weeks ago, and I was like, "Oh, look, there's an elk."
Yes. Almost killed me.
Yeah, because you're not supposed to stop.
I was like,
right
why
there.
are you slamming on the brakes? I
There
just
was
got
There
going.
was an elk, and there's never elk at Apex Park. It's
Yeah.
great.
Then you handlebarred a tree.
Yes, that part right there is what I'm getting at. There's a big old stumpy stump protruding kind of into the trail, and I've talked with several people over the last while who all equally despise that stump sticking out right there.
Yeah.
Group project is we're going to team up. We're going to all go together. We're going to cut it out.
Why don't we just report it to Jeffco?
Because we can make an event of it and we can have some fucking fun.
Okay.
Jeez.
I was just gonna
Get on
say
board.
the government. Call the government. They'll save you.
We're gonna make an event of it. Party. So we'll get it together. We'll get details out.
Saws. We need a saw.
Let's make it. We'll make it our first bicycle therapy event.
We'll get cigarettes and saws.
Cigarettes and saws.
And we'll have
That'll
somebody...
be the name of the event.
Yeah.
We'll get together. We'll start at the top. We'll park up at the top of Apex.
Oh, okay.
Go down, cut it out, and do a couple laps on it, and everybody can rally without any fear of clipping their handlebar on that motherfucker anymore.
Yep. All right.
We'll
You
let
heard
know.
it here first.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming. Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks for joining.
Thanks for being my boy.
Chicking.